Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another standard ranked video. There are a lot of people currently playing a deck that plays a lot around the Virtuoso because people just realized that he is a very powerful card. When I first saw him I knew okay, he is kind of strong, but I didn't realize that he's that strong because of the double strike and because of the connive mechanic. You can go for some really explosive turns, so this is the card that we try to play around today. Some cards that also are featured in this deck is of course when the creature that needs to be the target of a spell to connive. We have a lot of interaction for that. We have the Guiding Voice. It is a common card that is very powerful in these mechanics because of the Learn edition on it. You have some access to your sideboard and you also can just filter through your hand by discarding a card and then drawing a card again. Especially with Connive, the Homestead Garage has proven as a very stable card because of the flashback mechanic. You drew something great and you always have the feeling like, okay, I'm just filtering, but if you're just discarding the Homestead Garage, you're still getting a lot of value from it because of the flashback, so that's a great combo in here. The Delver of Secret is an addition to this deck because there are so many instance and sorcery cards in this deck that it's really helpful to play with the Delver on turn 1. You have your bomb creatures, the Virtuoso and the Ledger Shredder on turn 2, and then it's sometimes still helpful just to have a creature on turn 1 that either just eats a cheap removal of your opponent or just becomes a threat by itself, because you pretty often reveal some instant or sorcery cards pretty fast in this deck. And then here's a 3/2 flying on turn 2 that can immediately attack. And to power him up, you can also buff him up with the Security Bypass, which is also a key card in this deck, because as long as enchanted creature attacks alone, it can't be blocked. And when this creature deals combat damage to a player, it connives. So you can also grow your Delver out of range from some very scary removals. The rest of the deck is actually just all about protecting your creatures. We have your Seal Guard approach, where you can choose one on instant, either tap target creature, or you hide something by giving a creature you control hexproof until end of turn. We also play Slip Out the Back. It puts a counter on a creature that makes it more powerful for the next turn. It also phases it out, because there are scenarios that I have had where a Meat Hook Massacre was about to come down, where you can't just say, okay, I just grow my creature out of range or I give it hexproof. So Meat Hook Massacre is still a very reliable card and will keep a reliable card in this format. So Slip Out the Back is great there. Fading Hope just as some interaction with your opponent's board, because depending on what your opponent is playing, especially because the meta is currently full of Boros aggro, it's good to have a Fading Hope in here just to scry, to bounce, to get the gas out of your opponent. So great card in here. Homestead Garage, I have just explained why we play it. And on the second mana curve we have the Sihiri Shelter, very powerful card because of the protection, and you can still play it as a land for turn. And the Security Bypass, as I've just explained. I am very lucky to have both dual lands in here in this deck. I once crafted them back in the days and I'm still profiting from it. It's always so helpful to go for lands when you're crafting something. What I like about the deck overall is that it is very cheap. As I've said, there are some other players that play this deck with a few more rare cards, which I personally don't like. I find it very challenging just to craft a few rare cards. In total we have 12 rare cards in this deck. 8 of those are the dual lands. The last 4 remaining are the Ledger Shredders. The Ledger Shredder just became a very powerful card because the text says whenever a player casts a second spell each turn, it connives. And it counts for every player, so if I cast 2 spells in my opponent's turn, the Ledger Shredder will also connive. The same counts for my opponent, and so on and so on. So it is a really good connive engine. It's a flyer on turn 2 as a 1/3 that can grow really, really big. So it's just a great card, and it's definitely the card that I wanted to include in this deck as my allowed rare drop, and it really pays off in my opinion. The rest are just commons and uncommons, so if you're short on wild cards, definitely check out this deck. I have a lot of fun with it. There are some really interesting matchups out there. You are kind of lacking a bit in against Boros aggro. That's really a tough matchup, and as I've said, the meta is currently pretty full of it, so it's not always that easy. You really have to keep an eye on when you want to play your creatures, as they might eat some removal right away, so maybe wait a turn more to have some protection up. That's very helpful. And if you can make your protect your creatures and just grow them out of range by conniving, you will probably win against Boros aggro. But still, it's a tough matchup in my opinion. Each other matchup is just super fun. This deck can go very fast and it can be very fun. So overall, I'd say let's jump into some matches. First of all, the sideboard isn't that interesting in my opinion. I've just added a few cards. The Expanded Anatomy just as a great card to put more counters on my creatures, to give them vigilance, to just provoke the aggression that you're giving your opponent in the air or as an unblockable creature on the ground. So overall, this is the sideboard that I'm running. And yeah, now that I've said everything, I would say we jump into some games and yeah, let's connive. Alright, so what do we think about this opening hand? We have a lot of hand, we have a lot of interaction with our opponent's board. We have one Ledger Shredder here. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think we can keep it for now. Green, alright. Yeah, we will just go for Ledger Shredder here. Hope to leverage him. Alright, mono green apparently. What do we have here? 4 more creature cards in your graveyard at 1 mana. Alright, nice mana dock here. But I won't give my opponent... I can bounce him now to get a connive trigger here. Oh, bypass, that's good. I think I wanna just ditch a land here for now. We don't want that one on top. Prefer something that will trigger our Delver here. Let's see. Alright, I'll want to replace this guy. Another Ledger Shredder on top. So we will just go for another Shredder here, play a bypass on our Delver. What do we prefer? I think we can get rid of the slip out the back, and I like Hexproof. That might help a lot. So for a knife trigger here, we have enough on board, we can ditch the Virtuoso. Alright, let's see what our opponent has. Our opponent is playing Junt here. Has 5 mana available. There's a run 7. Alright. Doesn't go for a token there. Alright, I'd love to reveal that one. And here we can him out and go face. Our opponent might have a backup Renin 7, but so be it. Opponent found a land, so they are apparently mana screwed here. Or have been mana screwed, that's why they use the +1. There's a binding, alright. We can work with that. Against Hexproof. Some knife triggers, powerful. Yeah, we don't need another one. And do we want that protection? I think protection is better than Hexproof, so... Alright, Innkeeper. And yeah, let's go into our turn. Smash face. Connive. Great card here. To ditch and... Yeah, it's fine for now. Let's see what our opponent does in their turn. If they don't have any answers, like a reach creature or something, we go for a win here. Okay. Would have liked to see the engine of our opponent. I think they really want to pump this one up with their run and 7 by milling them for creatures, but didn't work out that way. Opponent gained some life here, alright. We still have lethal though. Aggro Mauling. Might have been a try. Bypass. Destroy. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take the basic. Okay. Good game. And we are back to Platinum 3. Okay, I think we can give this one a try. We can still filter with the guiding voice depending on what our opponent is playing. If we get an instant answer to our Delver here, okay. Yeah, fine by revealing that one. And here we will go for white. We could go and play the bypass and make him connive, but our opponent might have an answer, so I am actually just going to pump him up for once and keep the slip of the back ready for next turn, just to have the protection. It's very risky when you're holding just one creature to go for it and try to really push it, going all in here. So we will... I think now we can go for the bypass and start conniving here. One takes 4. I think a backup creature ain't that bad. I don't know what's about to come from our opponent, but we have a lot of protection in our hand, so I am actually fine with ditching the Virtuoso here. It is risky, but let's go for it. Right, 3 mana, Reckless Stormseeker, so looks like Gruul aggro. Well, we are faster than him, so we are good to go. I could slip him out, and but we can also do that next turn after conniving, so yeah, we will just take it on to our turn. Going for 6. Next turn we have lethal, depending on our opponent doesn't find an answer. Switch this one, and our opponent sees the writing on the wall. Nice. Okay, so we are on the play. Won't keep a hand like that again. Looks at least a bit better. It is risky, but we give it a try. If we immediately get answered, we have a problem. Right, opponent plays a tapped land. Can transform. Can go for a bypass here, perfect. Now we are really pushing it. Perfect. For free. Let's see if our opponent has an answer to this. Mono white so far. There's the Aspirant. Okay, so we will go for... yeah, we will keep pushing. Ditch the Virtuoso, pump him up. Yeah, and I feel like we want to keep our protection here. Oh, our opponent is also playing Azorius so far with an Aspirant. Okay, interesting. Another Aspirant? Okay. That can go fast. Do we want to bounce one? I think we want to provoke some interaction from our opponent, so we'll just bounce the one they have. Another Fading Hope. Do we want it? We are actually fast enough, so fine putting this one away. Does our opponent have a Fading Hope? Keeping up one blue. Alright. Found another land. I think we really want to provoke it here. Okay, it resolved. Let's see. Okay. Took a knife trigger. Do we want the land? I really don't think so. It's fine. Alright. Now let's see. Okay, so that would have probably been the point where they would have gone for the Fading Hope. Storm Chaser Drake. Okay, I see where this is going. So they are kind of playing a similar deck to mine. It's also like this, like a Voltron version where they just want to get as much value as possible from the Drake. Okay, I can work with that. I mean, if we attack alone, we are good to go. So I think we will just attack here. Keep up direction. Hit for 6, alright. Double knife trigger. Another protection spell. Now we can put this one away. And we can also get rid of the land. That's enough for now. Now I really want to see what our opponent has. Okay, so that's going to be tough for them to survive. Our creatures are unblockable, we have 2 protection spells in hand. Alright. We go digging with the Homestead Courage. Play another blue source. Going for a 5/4. All out attack, that's fine. Okay, let's go for an attack here. Let's see if they have something. They will need several counter spells here to make anything work. start off with Hexproof. Alright, we got it. Nice. Interesting one. If there would have been one more interaction, it would have been really, really close. I think next turn they could have gotten us, depending on how many buffs they would have had. Right, on the play we have a Delver, we have a few buffs, protection. I do like this hand, but just one creature is always so risky. We will see. Black Shambling Ghast. That is great that we revealed something here. Alright, we will go for the white source here, and I do want to keep up our shelter here, so we will just for free keep up the protection and see next turn. This is going to be a very interesting match. There's the Eye Twitch. Another black. I'm not going for an attack. There's another shelter, that's great. I want to filter more through our deck, so first of all I will play this on white. And here I will get rid of one of the Courages. That's great interaction there. So we can just pump him up. I mean, we know that our opponent is about to jump block, but we gotta keep up the pressure here. It'd be great if they go for the Necrotic Fumes here. They go for an Inkling Summoning, alright. Summoning. I'm fine taking the one. Bypass, perfect. Although I do have to say that I preferably find a land first. In the best case scenario an untapped land. That is not an untapped land. We could hit our opponent, but we could also play the Ledger Shredder. Hitting by the security bypass here. We can go for the bypass, hope to find another land and by that leverage something and keep up our protection here. It ain't easy, that's a tough decision here. I think I want to hit my opponent hard. Tap land. And next turn, well, we have one mana only, so yep, gotta keep it like that. This is going to be interesting. We are tapped out now. If our opponent has removal, they can make it count now. Deadly Dispute on the Shambling Ghast, alright. We'll find some removal. 4 mana. There's a Sorin, alright.
I take no joy.
Making a token interesting.
I bring my own.
Another blue mana, that is very powerful, so next turn we do have lethal if they don't force any to use our shelter. So first we will hit face, see what we find here. Probably should have waited with playing the land then. Okay, so we can keep up both of our protection spells, but we need the shelter anyways to win next turn, so I think it's fine to play the Ledger Shredder here and just work with the Hexproof from Azorius Guard approach. We have this one chance to win this one now. Opponent will make another token, okay.
You fight for me now.
Invoke Despair. That won't be enough. It does get rid of an enchantment. But we are still unblockable, so that's actually fine. Okay. Yeah, we take that. Nice, good game. Protection from black here. Unblockable. GG. Good game. That Invoke Despair was scary. But Shelter is doing a great job in this deck. Alright, so we have lands, we have interaction. Again, just one Delver in hand, but we gotta try. If they have an answer here, we have a problem, but we hope they don't. Right, so they do. Okay. When people reveal a land from the hand to play the source untapped, I'm always like, okay, they have something. So. Okay. First we will hit for 1. Yeah, and we will just play the Ledger Shredder. That was really scary. Okay. Okay, so it's Reanimator. So we really have to hurry here. Yeah, they discarded the Vadamarcus already. There is a bypass. So first we will play a land tapped here. And we really have to go fast. First Connive. I think we can ditch this one. When does this deck reanimate again? I think the Invoke Justice costs 5, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's going to be tough. We need to slip out the back for their Vadamarcus. That's going to be important. That is a great draw here. We do lack in mana, so what we want to do here is we want to get rid of the Shaman here. See what's on top. I think we have enough shelter for now. And then we want to play a second spell this turn. Another slip out the back. That can be very helpful, but we will ditch one as our mana isn't that good for now. And there we will go for an attack. That is good, that is good, that is good. We can also tap the Vadamarcus. I prefer that option also over phasing him out. Yeah. And we will pass back here. Okay. Our opponent keeps filtering. They are 2 turns away from the Invoke Justice. At least our Ledger Shredder is pretty big to survive some removal, and we still have protection up, so I am really excited how they want to handle this situation. Alright, there is the Angel Fire Ignition. Also discarded another Fable. They can play another land, but they are... Okay, they are missing 1 white mana. Okay, they want to Strangle here. We cannot let that happen. We need the Delver to survive. Ditch the land here. Next turn they will make a Kiki-Jiki. That bypass can be helpful. Just to at least make the Delver grow. To get him out of Strangle range again. Strangle range, alright. Which one? Fading Hope is actually better than the Seer Guard approach when they bring in the Velamarcus. But I do want to be flexible here depending on what they play, so I will ditch the Fading Hope. Now we do have Lethal, so if they go for the Invoke Justice here, we will tap down the Velamarcus and hopefully get this thing through. So do they have the Invoke Justice? They do. You will get back. They will distribute the counters. And then we tap him down. GG. What a game. Wow, that was close. But a great one, I do have to say. Alright guys, so these were some games with my bypass deck. As I've said earlier, there are a lot of versions of this deck that include a few more rare cards, but I am a fan of trying to not play with that many wild cards. So the MVP of this deck is, in my opinion, definitely the Delver. He did so much work in all of the games because he is a very reliable one-drop, especially in a deck that runs so many instants and sorceries as this deck. And the Virtual also came a bit short in these games that we just played, but still a great card. I do have another deck where I play him and focus him way more than in this deck, but as I've said, the Delver and the Ledger Shredder are great cards in this deck. Delver definitely an MVP. Also the Sagiri Shelter is doing a great job in this deck, either by giving protection from something to sneak in the final blow or anything else. You see a Guard Approach, also a great card. I am very lucky about the fact that I do have these dual lands. I once crafted them and they really paid off, and that really gives way more consistency to this deck. The Homestead Crutch is just great if you're conniving. You keep the value just because of the flashback. It's a great card. Overall, a very funny deck. It is a cheap one, as you can see, just a few commons and uncommons, and only the Ledger Shredder, which is probably a card that will stick around for a very long time. It is worth crafting them, so this is a reliable deck that I will definitely keep playing. It's very fun, it is very challenging, as you've seen in the match we've just played with the Velamarcus, where we really have to think about, okay, what's about to come and how do we interact with it. The tap target creature was just perfect in this scenario, so overall a great last match to round this thing up, and overall, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and then I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye guys!